Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Sincere Tarot, where you get the raw, honest truth. This is your April 2020 tarot forecast, and I also just wanted to ask, would you like me to do a video on all the current events that are happening around the world, or any type of video at all? What content do you want? Please just write it in the comment. I want to do what you want me to do. So, anyways, let me know. And your theme for this month is the Seven of Swords. So deception, sneakiness, it could be trickery. So this is either you, but I feel like for a lot of people it might be someone else. You really need to be careful who you think you can trust, who you're confiding to, who you're telling your secrets to, because they might use it against you. You might think they're your friend, but they are your foe, and you can't trust them. For a small amount of you, it could be you, and maybe you're doing it because you're mentally, swords are mentally stressed out, and you're thinking you need to do this to survive, and it's actually not going to be a good outcome for anyone, including yourself in the long run. With this, it's not a stable card. So yeah, just be very careful who you are trusting, very careful, because that's your theme for the month. Now let's see how the rest of this looks. So I've shuffled the cards off camera, but I'm just showing you that I'm cutting the deck, and interesting. And I've got 3 different decks. I think I know who it is, who you can't trust. I've got 3 different decks. I've got my Tarot of the Cat People, representing what's happening on the surface. And I've got my Tarot of the Thoth, representing what's happening beneath the surface. And I've got my Mystic Mondays deck, representing advice card based on each week of the month. Make sure you stick around until the end, where you pick your own destiny cards, and I really feel like so many people are going to need it this month, so fuck. Honestly, with everything going on around in the world, it's definitely up and down for pretty much all of the readings I've done so far. So you're not alone. All right, so it looks like, I'm going to show you all the cards at once. So for the first week, on the surface, we've got the 3 of Swords. Beneath the surface, we've got the Fool, and then your advice card is the Lovers. So, I feel like because of this 3 of Swords, this Fool card is relatively negatively aspected. So the 3 of Swords, you are at odds with someone. This could be, it's someone who you used to be close to, right? It could be a lover, or a former lover, or a lover that you're quarreling with, or a close friend, a family member, a housemate that you used to get along with. It could be any type of relationship where you guys used to get along. Look at how they're wearing similar dress. They used to be like 2 peas in a pod, but now they've put their walls up. Mental blocks, swords are mental. They're back to each other. It might not be all out war, but they are totally against one another, and they've got their guard up, and neither of them are ready to put their guard down. There's a lot of anger. It could be also a lot of tension and hostility, just like a volcano, but it's not exploding yet, but it could. And it might, looking at the other cards, I'll show you. I feel like someone, it could have been both people, but normally with the 3 of Swords, it's one person in particular who betrayed someone. So if this is a romantic, it could be cheating. If it was a friend, it could be someone talking shit, or posting negative things online. On social media, things like that. It could be because swords are also can be words and written messages. It can also, yeah, be social media. So it's just something that you heard. It could be, or read, could have notified you about this person's betrayal. I feel like someone's being really naive and foolish. Maybe you found out about it because the other person was foolish and they got caught. And it could also be you are being naive and foolish. Even though you're really angry, you might be kind of still in denial, acting like nothing happened. believing their lies to a certain degree. Maybe you want to believe their lies because the truth can be really painful and cut deep. Your advice card is to find balance, right? This is the Lovers, right? But it's also balance within ourselves. I feel like you really do need to think about like this relationship and, you know, what you two need to do to be compatible, to get back on the same page for this to work. Like, be realistic about it. Yeah, I feel like one of you or both of you are being foolish and naive in this situation right now. It looks like, this is interesting, if you're a female, or, you know, whoever the female is in the relationship, or if it's, you know, same sex, the person who's more like the woman in the relationship, who has more feminine energy, it looks like that person, look, this is insane. Look, we've got on the surface the Queen of Cups, beneath the surface the Queen of Cups, and your advice card is the Princess of Cups. Okay, so it looks like, you know, whoever is the female in the relationship is going to be like coming forward, right, with an offer of love to reconnect, to try and set things right and regain that emotional connection. Beneath the surface in this deck, the Queen of Cups, like there would still be, if you're that female, I'm just going to talk like it to you. If you're that, you know, female who's, you know, going forward, offering the love again, there's still a part of you that beneath the surface, like, is holding back. Like, you're not fully, completely beneath the surface connecting with them, because, you know, you've been hurt. So you're like kind of holding back a little bit and maybe not saying everything that you feel, maybe not expressing all of your emotions. You're kind of like keeping a bit of a distance. Your advice is the Princess of Cups, and that is to just kind of like, you know, that's more about, you know, synchronicities and going with the flow and having a bit of a childlike innocence, right? Like picking up messages that are under the surface. We've got this moon as well. So that's like intuitive, subconscious messages coming up to your consciousness. So you really need to be listening to your dreams. Synchronicities, coincidences are these nudges from your guides and your higher self, trying to nudge you in the right direction. So you need to be open and receptive to that because the messages are coming, right? You just need to be open to them. All right. This is what's happening during the third week, and I think this explains the whole Seven of Swords explanation. Now remember, like, I think for a lot of you, this is going to be a romantic relationship. But for some of you, it's not necessarily going to be. It could be friendship or family. Okay, but it's definitely an important relationship to you because it's showing up in your reading right now. So your advice, so the third week, sorry, whoops, we've got the Sun on the surface. So it seems that, like, you know, this offer of love during the second week has been accepted, moving forward, and everything's all hunky-dory. You know, celebrating life, right? That's on the surface. We've got the Sun on the surface. Beneath the surface, we've got the Moon. Illusion, delusion, deception. There's still like shit that that you haven't looked at. Like, this person's deluding you, and maybe you're deluding yourself. And maybe because, like, in the second week, you're not expressing all your emotions and everything that you feel deep down in your heart. Maybe you're kind of deluding this person as well a little bit. But there's so much that's been left unsaid. There's so much emotion beneath the surface that, like, you guys are not expressing. It seems all hunky-dory and like everything's good on the surface during the third week, but it's not. Sorry for yelling. It's just, yeah. And, you know, the only way to correct this is we've got, you know, your advice is the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is not afraid. Like, of being herself. She says exactly what's on her mind. She doesn't hold back. She says exactly what she thinks, exactly what she feels. She sticks to her truth because for her, there's like no other option. So your advice during the third week is to be authentic. If you think something, say it. If you feel something, express it. If you believe something, you need to stick to your truth. Be your authentic self. Not this, no hiding your thoughts, no, you know, ignoring certain red flags maybe in the other person, right? You've got to be 100% authentically expressing your truth. I'm assuming this is happening with the romantic person for some of you, but it won't necessarily for all of you. It could be something like not 100% related, okay? But I feel like for most of you, it is going to be this romantic or friendship, okay? I mean, it's not necessarily romantic, but come on, you know at this point, like probably who I'm talking about. This is the 4th week. This, in my opinion, the 9 of Wands, like, is in this deck. So, okay, on the surface, we've got the 9 of Wands. Beneath the surface, the Tower. Not fun. Advice is Ace of Wands. So, the 9 of Wands in this deck overall is like, I feel like with this other person, if you're not speaking your truth and saying what you think, it's like you're walking on eggshells. Like you are, and you don't know who to trust. Like, look, you're trying to, go in a direction that's right for you, but there are people that you can't trust, okay? And it could be more than one. It could be like someone to your face saying something else, but they're talking shit about you behind your back. They could be scheming. They could just, they're like fake friends. Fake. Look, this person's like, well, I don't have a sword. Come over. It's okay. Fuck. They'll stab you in the back when they have half a chance. You cannot trust this person or certain people, okay? And guess what? It's all gonna go to shit. This has been happening for a while, right? Like, because it takes a while for the major arcana to come to a full-blown build-up, right? And look, this is the 9. I feel like it's taken a certain amount of time, 9 weeks, 9 months, 9 years, whatever. Something like that, but this Tower, like, everything's gonna fall apart. Like, everything is gonna fall apart. Like, this walking on eggshells, watching your back, it's just gonna completely be destroyed. I feel like this relationship is completely done for. There's just a lack of trust. Sorry. Your advice, we've got the Ace of Wands again. Well, Wands again, we had the Queen of Wands as your advice card before. Speak your truth, follow your instinct, follow your spiritual guidance. And I feel like, after all of this happens, what you're going to do, you will follow your inspiration. You will follow your intuition, because trying to ignore red flags, trying to ignore synchronicities and, guidance from your guides has kind of led to this, right? The rug being pulled out from under you because it's just not working, right? That I feel like you really need to, your advice is to really listen to that internal spark, listen to that internal light, and that's pretty much going to be your only option anyways. So please pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Honestly, I want to give you some extra advice, and hey, guess what? You use your intuition to pick the number. So that is a start with that Ace of Wands as your advice, listening to your intuition. Please comment below how this reading has resonated with you, how it is resonating with you. I really love reading your comments, and I've just seen with everything going on in the world, just so much more intense readings that so sorry that you're going through a hard time and everything. Fucking sucks. It sucks, but trust me, you're not the only one getting the Tower this month. All right, if you picked one, this is interesting. All right, if you picked one, something is definitely coming to an end. I feel like it's this relationship, it's over. And with this card, because it's major arcana, it's a long time coming. So, and you know, you had the Tower in regards to the relationship. So I feel like it's over, it's done. Like there's no going back. And beneath the surface, we've got like the Four of Cups, luxury, which can be a bit superficial. Were you and this person into each other more for your looks or superficial on the surface things, you know? Were you into each other for things that, like, but like totally incompatible, you know? Like you could be like, oh, I want someone who, you know, has a really stable job and da-da-da. And like, yeah, that's important, super important. But like, if you have different desires in life, they can tick all these boxes, but you're not going to be like compatible for the long run. So I feel like there might have been not as, when you started this relationship with this person, you may not have had these super deep conversations such as, what are your spiritual beliefs? You know, a lot of people don't have these conversations, and they've got like different religions or different spiritual beliefs like that, you know, it eventually will come to a head and people like don't talk about it. Anyways, so I'm just saying, like, it might have been a bit superficial. Maybe there were certain boxes ticked, but like now you're realizing that there are certain things that were more important than the boxes that you ticked, okay? Your advice is to just have a good time, maybe have a few drinks. And I know, like, if people who are quarantined, I know you can't necessarily go out and party. This is usually a go out and party card, but like not with huge groups, like with people that you trust, like your friends and your family, people who've always stuck by your side. Maybe you're gonna have to do it over video or something, but to celebrate and just enjoy life, you know, take it easy. That's what the Three of Cups is saying for your advice card. This was a long time coming. It wasn't built on a solid foundation. Just have a good time with the people that you love and trust and care about. Yeah, you need to have a bit of fun, because it looks like during the last bit of this, it just wasn't fun. All right. If you pick two, on the surface, we've got the Chariot. Beneath the surface, we've got the Seven of Cups, debauch, and your advice card is the Three of Wands. I feel like if you pick two, that this person, maybe you, but I feel like for most of you, this person will try and come back full force into your life. But it's not going to work. It's toxic. It's a super toxic relationship. It's not that there's even an emptiness or a grief from the lack. It's like, it's super not healthy. Really, really, really unhealthy spiritually, emotionally, okay? But I feel like this person is going to like come back, try and come back into your life and be probably pretty forceful about it. But it's all ego. Like, this person is, you know, wearing a bit of, you know, armor, but like the vulnerability's hidden. I feel like, yeah, it's going to be like, they think it's going to be an ego reason why they come back, not a healthy love reason. Your advice is the Three of Wands. So you need to actually like think about, you know, how would this look in the long term? Because they're going to come back, or they're going to try and come back. Maybe they'll bombard you with messages or texts or blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. They could be trying to go through people, like they're contacting your friends. I don't know. It could be there, but they're going to try and just like completely be in your life. So you can't even try and start the grieving process, because they're going to be like, here, 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 here. It's going to be pretty intense. I feel like not good. Emotionally toxic. Like, it's a manipulative thing. Anyways, your advice is to think about how, if you were to get back together with them, like, how would this look in the long term? If you were, you know what I mean? Like, just like be real about it. Be real. Like, if you got back together, would it be good? I ain't gonna say, I think you know the answer. If you picked three, let's see what we've got. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so if you picked three, on the surface we've got the Four of Swords. Beneath the surface we've got the Five of Cups, disappointment, and your advice card is the Ten of Cups. Okay, so it looks like, you know, after all this is said and done, you know, you are going to be taking some well-needed rest, replenishment, nourishment. You seriously, like, this has been Like, Tower cards are not easy. You are definitely needing to recuperate, and just like recollect your strength and your mental clarity. And I feel like you're not going to be too demanding of yourself, especially like mentally, because you need to rest and recuperate. And I would only like hang out with people who you can super trust, people who are super close, and otherwise kind of more like just keep to yourself a little bit. You don't have to completely, but like only be around people that you can completely be yourself around. That's it. Super disappointing. Super emotional disappointment. Like it's not fun, and there used to be a lot of joy from this relationship, but it's like there's really not much turning back from that. Like it won't be the biggest disappointment in your whole life, but I mean, when it comes to this type of thing emotionally, like, but it sucks. Your advice card is the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is saying that like you will find that emotional love, you will find that stability, you will have all of your wishes answered. Like this is 5 of Cups, that's 10 of Cups. Like you might have been settling. I feel like you might have been like, oh, well, this person ticks these boxes, but doesn't really make a difference because they actually need to tick all these boxes. I feel like you need to up your standards for sure. Yeah, really think about what is going to create that whole roundedness, stability of everything that you, like on many different levels need to be satisfied, not just a few. Yeah, all right, so I hope that was helpful. If you'd like a private reading, send me an email or check out my website. That's all in the description below. You can follow me on social media. That's all down there as well. I do monthly, mid-monthly readings, so definitely like check them out. And yeah, please take care of yourself this month. Like it's not fun. But yeah, comment below if the reading resonated with you. Love reading your comments a lot. And if you're still here, one extra bonus card. Oh, you can create whatever you want when you have everything in balance. You can create the world that you want. You have the power. See you later.